Greetings to all. My name is James Portalatin, and I, by the grace of God, am the building commissioner for the city of East Chicago. I want to thank the mayor for entrusting me with this position. The building department consists of two major divisions, one of them being the permit division, where you could obtain your permits, and the other is the code enforcement division. I hope that all that are listening are sound and safe in this trying time. I do want to remind everyone that although the city hall doors are closed to the public, our offices remain open. You can reach the building department at 219-391-8294. If you're seeking information concerning building permits, NIPSCO release, rental registration, you can contact the office and speak to Mariah Lewis or our office manager, Michelle Chandler. The other branch of the building departments which we will be concentrating on today is the code enforcement division, and the manager is Damian Ventura. Today you will see one of our officers as well as Damian in action with several issues that we confront on a daily basis. Today I take the time to thank the owners, tenants, and business owners that do their part in maintaining their properties. They're out there mowing their lawns, they're picking up the litter. You see them obtaining permits, fixing and rehabbing their properties. I want to thank you. Unfortunately, that's not always the case though. And that's where our code enforcement division has to step in. The code enforcement division is aggressively tackling issues such as rank vegetation, litter, illegal dumping, overflowing dumpsters, dilapidated fences, housing standards, abandoned vehicles, etc. The task is immense, and so today I urge you to help us maintain our beloved city. One of these items that I noticed that really needs attention is our alleys. Please make sure that the garbage and the litter is within the container. If you're in need of a garbage container, you are afforded 2 totes. If you're a single family home, you can contact Public Works at 219-391-8463 and they can assist you with this. If you're an apartment building with 3 units or more, you can contact the water department and apply for a dumpster there at 219-391-8469. The other item that I'm seeing in the alleys is the rank vegetation along the fence line. If you could help us and remove that. In fact, the city ordinance does state that it's the duty of the person owning, leasing, or controlling the same to cause the undergrowth to be removed throughout the front and rear yard, alleyways, sidewalks, and parkways. We're aggressively going to be tackling this. So if you see that we send a letter, know that it's because of that reason. Please help us in maintaining these alleys. In closing, my name is James Portalatin, and I truly thank you for allowing me the opportunity to serve this beautiful city. God bless.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Damian Ventura, and I am the Code Enforcement Manager here for the City of East Chicago. Today you'll be coming with me into my world and see exactly what I do as an administrator here for the city. Code enforcement, we have about three officers right now, including myself. It's 4, and it is our job to take care of the whole city. So first, a couple things I wanted to talk about is a couple things that I do as an administrator. My day-to-day operations. I would come in early in the morning, and I would first check my phone and any emails that I have. And I would like to take you guys on a live call to see how I address situations and how I talk to the public. So let's take a look at one of my voice messages.
Welcome to a VIA IP office. For help at any, enter password.
Damian Ventura.
New message.
Yes, hi, I'm calling about a lot next to my house. And they come and mow, but they're not properly cutting down the weeds against my fence. I was wondering if there was something you could do about that. Thank you.
3116. Okay, so it looks like she called about something that a lot of times we have in common that happens with our rank and weed vegetation ordinance is that everything from the fence line, alleyway, parkway, front and rear has to be cut. So I did hear that she mentioned her fence line. So let's give her a call and kind of dig a little deeper in what the complaint is about.
Hello?
How you doing? My name is Damian Ventura from East Chicago Code Enforcement. I was returning your phone call.
Yes, how are you?
Fantastic. How you doing?
I'm good. And they come and mow it, but they don't do anything about the weeds along my fence.
Okay. Is it's on the lot side, obviously, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. No, I understand. Yeah, no, I understand totally. Yeah, if it's on.
I don't know why they come and mow if they don't do that.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. No. Definitely. I can take care of for that. I'll find out if it's the city lot, which it sounds.
No, it's not. It's privately owned.
It's privately owned. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you're saying the city does cut it though?
No, they do.
Okay.
Because
Got you.
the last couple of years,
Okay,
you guys
private.
got me a violation notice.
Okay.
I come over and say it's not mine.
Okay.
So they come out and they mow it.
Okay.
They leave the grass clippings all on the sidewalk, and then they don't get close to my fence and weed whack it.
Got you.
So the weeds are almost as tall as my 6-foot fence.
Right. I understand totally.
Yeah.
Okay, that's something definitely I can take care of. I'll get in contact with the owner. If I can't get in contact with the owner, then we'll deal with it another way, okay?
Okay, so if you send someone out, just make sure that they are careful, because you guys have done it before and put holes in my fence.
Holes in your fence? You have a wooden fence?
PVC fence.
Oh, PVC fence. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just letting you know so that nothing happens.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you so much for calling me back.
No, absolutely.
All right, you have a great day.
You too, man.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye-bye. So something like this, it's a private lot, so how we would here at Code Enforcement deal with something like that is we would have to get in contact with the owner and follow up. Like I said, the ordinance specifically says fence line, so that's something that should have been taken care of. Also, she mentioned that it wasn't, there was a lot of grass clippings everywhere. So that's definitely another problem, because they should be able to blow that with a blower, blow it back into the grass, or sweep it up and pick it up. That could trigger another ordinance, dangerous and offensive maintenance to the property. So there's a couple things there. We definitely could address that. So that was just a live call, just to show you guys this is something that I do, and usually every day I have like 25 calls that I have to return every morning. So something else I wanted to talk about is this is a Comcate. This is our code enforcement software, and this is an awesome software because this allows us to do multiple inspections throughout the day. Before we had a system, a different system, Munis system, and the guys weren't doing a lot of inspections today because it required a lot of input back at the office. So with this software, new technology is always good. In this case, it helps us out a lot. So the guys are able to do many more inspections per day. Here, I require them to do anywhere from 13 to 15 inspections, new inspections per day. That doesn't include the follow-ups. So for example, let's say one of my guys goes out, he finds 15 different violations, let's say grass. So he will write that up. We would send them a letter. The ordinance gives them 5 days. Usually we allow a couple days because of mail, like right now because of the pandemic, the mail's a little slow. So we allow a few more days for that. Once they get out there, they'll do the follow-up inspection. And sometimes if the grass is not cut, then we'll continue with the process there. But to just give you an overall, 15 inspections per day. For example, within a month's time, just to give you an example of how much we do, a month and a half, we've done over 400 inspections. and violations. So we sent out probably over 400 letters to the residents to try to keep up in their grass. And that's something that here at the city, we want to do. We want to stay aggressive. We want our city to look beautiful. And the mayor works really hard at beautifying the city. And we're part of that backbone to ensure that that vision succeeds. So with this here, the software, it has a list of everything that the guys do. So as far as accountability purposes, from a managerial perspective, I can look here exactly and count. I can add it up through a different way, but just to show you here on the screen. So we got here Foster, Jacques, who's our office clerk. Everything that they do, code enforcement, is on here. You'll see the open cases here, this is unsafe building law. Here you have some removal of weeds. Okay, and let's click on this. Let's take you in to see. Okay, so here's one of the cases. Okay, this is Vargas. Okay, and as we go down here, if anybody does anything, there's always a history to it. Okay, so for example, Guillermo started this case, and he entered it in, and it went to our office clerk, who mails it. Okay, just to show you that. Here we like to add pictures with the letters. So here's some of the pictures that go on the letter, and that's important. I'm gonna show you out there in the field. Something that we're really harping on is the alleyways. The alleyways are very important for the city. You'd be surprised how the alleys look. But that was just a little bit there about the software. I want to take you guys over here. Quick second. Just to show you around here. This is where our guys sit at. Right now they're all out in the field. We have 3 inspectors. We should be getting another officers, rather, not inspectors, officers. We should be getting another officer soon. But this is where they sit. This is where they do their business in the morning before they go out. Here, real quick, here's also a code book that we have. Sometimes if the guys can't find a code for a special situation, we'll have a code book out for them that they can search through, even though now the city has put it on the computer, which also the residents can look for themselves. So if any of you residents want to look up some of the codes, you can go on the East Chicago website, and on there it'll say municipal code, and you can go on the website, and actually, if you have a question or you want to read the code for yourself, you can do that also. There's something that we came up with for the residents to look out for. I don't know if they're going to put it in the water bill or whatever, but it's here. Property owners and landlords. We got a flyer here with all the top codes that we use. So we're going to put that and give that to you guys, so that way the residents can have that. They can refer back to that as a reference or anything like that. So, okay, let's go out here for a second. This is Mariah. This is Jacques. So whenever the code enforcement inspectors do their letters, Jacques will get them, and he will then mail them out to the residents. And again, because the mail is slow, sometimes it takes a little time, maybe 2 to 3 days. Something else that the city is big on that I want the residents to know is rental registration. Our guys do routine inspections, and if we don't see that sticker on there, then you guys, the residents could obtain a citation from that. But this is Michelle. She handles a lot of that rental registration, and I wanted her to say a few words about the rental registration.
Okay, the rental registration is every year project, I should say. All landlords, building owners are responsible for getting their rental registration in. We also start at the beginning of the year, which is January 2nd of that year, and it ends April 15th. So that's enough ample time for the building owners or the landlords to get their registrations in. We have applications that are due every year that has to be filled out. There's also the smoke detector forms that has to be completed by the tenants. They have to sign off that they have a working smoke detector form in their unit. So every year we have a different color of rental registration stickers that verifies the year. So when code enforcement goes out there, and for that year that we have the color for it, it's the year for the sticker. So if they see a different color sticker that's on the property, they will call in to verify that the units or that property has registered for rental registration. So if you have not registered, you will get a citation, and they'll give you ample time enough to get that situated before you go to court. So just to let you know, rental registration starts every year, January 2nd through April 15th. And a good thing to remember is it's always the same date as the last day for taxes. Okay, thank you.
So that's something Michelle's a very integral part here in this department. You know, she's like the commander. She keeps us all in check. So all right, we're gonna go out in the field and kind of show you what else I do on the field. So do some little field work. Some of the hot topics right now on my plate is these alleys. Okay, so when we're talking about rank vegetation and the alleyways, like I was saying earlier about fence line, front yard, rear yard. Here goes, let's get out right here. Okay, so I want to take you guys out here, a couple of my hot topics that are on my plate that we're trying to focus on, and I want to inform the residents is alleyways. Okay, that's something that we want to make clear for the residents of East Chicago, and you know, and also it makes our alleys look beautiful. You know, that's a problem that we have, and I just wanted to talk about it. So this is something that we will call the alleyway, and when my officers do the inspections, they'll do the front, the rear, and then they'll drive in the back alley, and we will also ride up the alley. In the notification letters that we sent, that does talk about and mention alleyways in there. And you know, we all need to work together. You know, there's so many things that need to be taken care of, and that falls on the owner. So for example, for like this one, we want to really show the house, but this here is a violation. This needs to be cut down, something like that. And you know, if it's not cut, like I said, we do give time to the owners to cut it. If it's not cut, then we would have to send a work order to Public Works for Public Works to come out at the expense of the owner. And we don't want that. You know, we want to be able to communicate with the residents, to be able to cut the alleyway down. But at times, sometimes people are not in compliant, and so as a city, we have to continue to move forward and continue to beautify our city, and sometimes, unfortunately, that results in having to call Public Works, sending a work order out to them for them to cut it at the expense of the violator. So something else I would like to talk about. A lot of these garbage cans here in the alley look fantastic. There's no overflowing of dumpsters. That's another violation that the city we focus on, is overflowing of dumpsters. If we can look at this here, okay, this does not look too good right here. Okay, so we have lids that are open, which can cause a lot of flies, squirrels, raccoons, and for whatever reason, you know, they throw the garbage on the ground. So a lot of times here, that's something that I would like the owners to know. You can make sure that, and a lot of times too, it could be the garbage guys, you know. These garbage are empty here, but the lids are open. A lot of times it's good to have these lids closed, like I just said. So let me just go ahead and close these lids. If you see, this alley is pretty dirty. Okay, so we got garbage on the floor, litter on the floor. This makes our alleys look terrible. You know what I mean? See here on the side, which definitely could be a violation. You know, the violation, I mentioned it earlier, dangerous, offensive premises. I mean, you know, that's something that we need to do. Here goes another garbage on the ground. You know, again, I'll pick this up. But that's something we want to harp on. Here you can see some weeds there that that would be awesome if the residents could help us with and cut those down. Let's talk about rubbish for a second, okay? So something like this here, we have 2 mattresses, we have some rubbish material, some wood material, okay? Not really a violation, okay? That's something that Public Works will pick up on the routine inspection, so this is not too bad. Where it becomes a little bit, or becomes a violation rather, is when what we call dumpster worthy, okay? Or 1 truckload worth of rubbish. Maybe we can find something down the line that I can show you guys. But if we have a resident who throws out a truckload or dumpster worthy worth of material, rubbish, wood, whether it's furniture, mattresses, that's a violation, okay? And a citation will be issued to the resident for that. So that's something that I want everybody to know, that if you need a dumpster, please get it. You know, if you do put something out, it can't be dumpster worthy, quote unquote, or 1 truckload. A lot of times when Public Works conducts their routine inspections and they do come upon an amount of rubbish that's too much, I will get a call, we will come out here and we will cite, okay? So a lot of times they do let us know about things like that, so we work together, we collaborate with a lot of different departments. So that's for rubbish. Another thing is, a lot of times what we do also have is we have contractors, unfortunately, will find a spot and dump all of their material that they use, or waste, C&D waste that they use from fixing a home or something like that. Man, you know, that's terrible. A lot of times they dump it on residents' spots, and the residents sometimes will call us and say, hey, you know, this is not our stuff. And sometimes we wrongfully cite them, but you know, how do we know, you know? So for all you contractors that do that, that's a big no-no. And if we catch you, citation time. So other than that, let's walk this way. A lot of times too, I'll incorporate Public Works. So if I see something like this, a lot of litter, I'll call up one of the supervisors, see if they can help us out and maybe clean this stuff up, you know, to make this alley look good and feel a lot better over here. Over here, let's look at this garage since we're out here, okay? So something else that code enforcement does is we do housing standards, and you know, we're working a lot on garages, whether we're demoing garages. See, something like this is a violation. This is something that will need to be written up, that I will put down and call one of the officers to come out and write up. You know, the siding is messed up, you got a hole in there, and on the side of the wall, okay, the exterior wall, we have some fascia that's missing. So again, it's dangerous to the senses, it's indecent, you know, so that would definitely go against the code 93.001, dangerous and offensive maintenance. So that's something that we got to take care of. That's also part of our job. So when I see something like this, I'll go back and I'll call it in. And so let's walk this way so I can do that. C1 to C3, come in C3.
Go ahead.
When you get a chance, put this on your schedule. We have a garage that is in violation of housing standards. Let me get you the address. Come back, C3.
Go ahead.
There's a garage that's in violation of housing standards. So if you could please put that on your schedule, greatly appreciate it. So that's something I do. So, you know, I'll go around, I'll drive the areas, you know, and if something stands out to me, a lot of times the guys have written it up, but I'll still follow up with them and I'll say, hey, you know, behind so-and-so address, do you got that? You know, did you get that one yet? A lot of times we're pretty good at getting those things. For the summertime, we focus a lot mainly on rank vegetation and grass and things like that, because man, there's so much grass out there that needs to be written up. So that's a lot of the things that we're more of a proactive state, and a proactive state when it comes to that. unless a complaint is called in, and then maybe for something else, then I'll call them on the radio and send them out. Another thing I want to talk about, okay, are businesses, for the business owners out there. Okay, love you guys, I really, really do. But you know, same thing with them. You know, we got to make sure that the businesses of the city of East Chicago are up to par, and we have a certain standard. You know, I have a certain standard. You know, I want them to produce excellence, right? To show excellence. So that requires mainly me looking at facades, the sides of their building. By the way, there is a facade program that businesses can take advantage of. So look into that. That's with I believe with the redevelopment department. So they do offer a program to help business owners with the facade. So that's actually what, you know, it's called the facade program. So we're gonna go down to the business district right here, Main Street, and we're gonna look at some of these businesses. Yeah, so here we are in the businesses. As you can see, maybe look forward here, you can see that with the flowers and the new buildings that went up here, like the new kidney care center, you know, this downtown part of East Chicago is looking fantastic. So, you know, I have to do my part as an administrator to continue to rise to the same level that all the other areas are rising to. So for example, like we got here, for example, this business here we wrote up last week. You see how we have the panes of the windows are kind of chipping and something like that. You see that? So that's a violation. We want to get that fixed. Here goes another one here. We have it's a little dirty. The facade's a little dirty, you know. So you know, we'll talk to the business owner, work together with him to try to get that taken care of, so that way that can look nice and beautified. Not too bad here. For the most part, not too many problems, just a few here and there. Oh, for example, look at this right here. Okay, this is a business district. We do have some structures, but look at the clothesline. You cannot have clothes on a line like that. Okay, that violates an ordinance. And that's really, I know in the old days that was applicable, but these days it's not. So that's something that we'll have to address. Moving on here, let's look down here, some of these other businesses here. Like I said, one step at a time. You know, there's a Chinese passage that says, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So here, like for example, this sign right here. See, to me that sign needs to be taken down or fixed because it's faded. You know, it looks ugly. That violates an ordinance, sign ordinance. Okay, that's abandoned sign ordinance, actually. That's the title. Here we got Maine Sporting Goods, Genova's Pizza. Looks really nice. I believe they were one of the ones that took advantage of the facade program. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that they definitely look pretty good. We just conducted a demolition here. So again, it was a building that was dilapidated, looking ugly, you know. So we definitely took care of that. We have Harbor Barbers looking good. Okay, another place that took advantage of the facade. See, looking better. Everything's looking better. So that's how we want to keep it. We have here Taurus Legacies here. You see, it's a business with some apartments up front, so it's mixed use building, but you see how they have that wood up there. Okay, again, just that little thing there makes everything look terrible. Hey, how's it going? Okay, so we want to definitely address that, and I believe they were cited for that already. Got a little bit of music going over here. Okay, I don't know, that might be a code violation. No, just joking. Just joking. Got a joke. I'm very famous out here in the streets. All right, so not too bad, looking fantastic. See, this looks good. I like how this is looking. Another person who took advantage of the facade, I believe. You know, here's something that I don't know who came up with this idea on this side for the business district. This fencing right here that would cover an empty lot. I think that makes the whole area look very nice. So not too bad here on this end for the businesses. Let's make a left here. Like I said, we want to work with the business owners. I mean, they're a vital part to the city of East Chicago. So we don't want to overdo it or anything with them, but we have to hold everybody accountable and keep it consistent, whether it's a resident, whether it's a business owner, and also the city properties. So we're here on Broadway Business District, looking at all the businesses. Looking pretty good here. Nice building. They fixed up, fantastic. But they actually, this looks brand new. Yeah, that's one that they built. That's right. Another thing about the businesses is that we ask all business owners if they can help us out, and this is also according to the code, that they take care of, again, their area, the parkway nearby, sidewalks. In the wintertime, a lot of times we had a couple disputes with some of the business owners about shoveling snow, and it is required that they shovel the snow along their sidewalk. That's maybe in front of their business, on the side of their business. So here goes one that needs paint. We definitely addressed this one already, that they go ahead and paint it. The guy is supposed to get it done in another week, so that'll be taken care of. So yeah, for all the businesses, we appreciate it, business owners, that you work with us again in helping to beautify the city, and continue to monitor your areas, whether it's the garbage cans, litter in the front parking lot, weed whacking on the sides. A lot of times businesses by their garbage cans are terrible looking. Here, it's like we have a water problem here. Some flooding. So this business here is pretty much not bad here, but he does have things on the side that he needs to take care of. So we're gonna go in the business and talk to them. So over here, we have, see here, we got a stack of crates. We as a city, we would like to be that, piled up nicely. Again, dangerous, offensive, or indecent to the senses. Now I'd like to talk about something else in the alleys. Is numbering addresses on the rear. So if we look at this place here, and we were in the alley working, or rather the police department or an ambulance service, let's say, or a fire department, they can quickly locate the address if everyone had an address on their garage, or back of their structure. Like this one here, this has it, this one has it. This is something that the city code enforcement has been focusing on, something that we've been focusing on, and so we would like everyone, if they can, to be able to put their addresses on the back of their structure. This has it here, 3505. Okay, fantastic. Some of the residents are like, no one's ever done that before, but this is one that we talked about. We think it's very important for safety, public safety, and also for code enforcement to be able to locate properties, efficiently. There's another code violation that I'd like to talk about with you guys is maintenance offenses. A lot of times we gotta, and this is a lot here in the city, we have a lot of these old broken down wooden fences, and we would like to work together with the residents, giving them some time to be able to repair that and get started on that. I think that that makes a big difference, and also safety for the resident, to have a fence that's in good repair and in good standing. Another thing is this also here, like this fence, for example, half of it's painted pink, half of it's different color. So we would like to have that uniform. Again, it represents something. When someone looks at it, it represents excellence, and that's what I like to try to push, is excellence if possible. And again, we work with all the residents. We work with residents sometimes, because of the pandemic, they couldn't do it at that moment. Nobody wanted to come out and work with them, and we understand that totally. And we're ready and willing. Matter of fact, my mask is a little low, but we're ready and willing to work with the residents, but we just like to get a good start on it and get something going and at least get something in progress.
Okay, my name is Ezell Foster, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of East Chicago. Now I'm about to go out on my normal tour duty for the day. We'll be going and check out some highways and rank vegetation. That's one of the things that we do as code enforcement officers, along with a number of other things. So you'll be able to see some of the things that we do on a day-to-day basis. Code enforcement is the main artery to any city. And as we go through the day, you would understand why I say that. And they have highways and rank vegetation. So I'm going to go out and write it up, send them a letter. They will have 5 days to cut it, but we usually have to give them 7 or 8 days because of the mail. Because usually they would say, well, we didn't receive the mail to this time and that time, but we usually give them 8 days. It's important that you do all 3 sides that needs to be cut: the front, the rear, and the west side of the building, parkway. We usually send these notice of violations if the grass exceeds 6 inches or more. Now the report is already done once I submitted it. Pictures, the letter, everything is already done. I usually have follow-ups. Sometimes I have 25, 30 follow-ups. But that was 25, 30 follow-ups that I did one day, 35, 25 properties. And now is the day for the follow-up. So then I have to do the follow-ups plus do some new cases. And there's been times when I've done 25 follow-ups, 30 follow-ups, and then 25, 30 new cases. So that takes time. We kind of often have problems with people dumping in vacant lots. But if the citizens of East Chicago would call us or either get a license number, then that way we could deal with them, especially those that come from out of town, bring their debris and garbage here and then dump it in the city in some of these lots. We have that happening a lot. You could call the office at 391-8513 as Code Enforcement Division. Just leave a message and we will get back with you and address the problem. This is one of the problems we have, and abandoned vehicles in the back that's been there since May, before May. I wrote it up in May, gave them 10 days to remove them, but they never did. So I issued a citation, so the case is still in court. And we have properties like this where people just come and leave their cars there and don't never do nothing with them. But it would be good if we could just get them towed, and then that would help out the neighborhood. Because we had been told that it was raccoons and stuff sleeping in the cars. There was a truck back there too, but the truck is gone. But the 2 cars are still there. This is a situation where it's an overflow dumpster and the top won't close. And then you have raccoons, squirrels going in there and then tearing the garbage up and then putting it on the ground. And we just can't have that in the city. So usually a situation like this, an overflow dumpster, we'll issue a citation and for the owner to appear in court. And that is a lot of what we do every day. But this is grass season, even though sometimes it's kind of hard to get to these, but we do them, especially when they look this bad. We have to address it. And especially if you can see the rest of the alley, the cans are empty, but then this one here on the corner, it's overflowed. And we have to address that. And which has to be cut, taken care of by the city. And I also would like to go around to the back. And also it's a problem with the building. The building has been written up and sent to go in front of the Board of Safety. And nothing has been done yet. I don't know if the city plans on demoing it or what, but something needs to be done with it. And then also there's somebody around here that's keep breaking in because I've boarded it up twice. You can see the front window they took the boards off again, and the police have caught some guys in there sleeping. And so we're going to go to the back. Yeah, this is the rear, and you can see where the windows and the doors was boarded up in the front structure, and then the rear structure, I had 3-4 doors boarded up, 3 windows, and they tend to continue to get in these places, but it's been put on the list to go in front of the Board of Safety also. And also, I'm quite sure that they're not going to cut the grass. We've been cutting the grass, so in 5 days, 7 days, whatever it takes, then I'll send a work order for Public Works to come cut it, and then that's how we'll deal with this rank vegetation. So I would like to add, a lot of times in buildings like the one we was just by, when you have to go in, or if you have to go in, you don't know what's in there, you don't know who is in there. A lot of times there's raccoons and stuff in there, and then you may find people in there sleeping, but you have to be careful before you enter into buildings like that, especially with no protection.
In that little alleyway?
Yeah, his time isn't up yet, but I'm quite sure there's nothing been done yet.
Okay, that's a 10-4.
And also I didn't give him any time, I just issued the citation. Now, if he wants to start working on it, then that's fine, but yeah, the citation already been issued by the 3rd or 4th one.
Okay, that's a 10-4.
But I'll ride by there and see if anything changed. I'll radio in and let you know. Vehicles in this vacant lot that the city owns, and there's already a sign posted saying no parking at any time. Violators will be towed away, order of the chief of police. But they just ignore the sign. It'd be like 4 or 5 cars parked there every day. That's 4934 Bearing. Okay, the city also has an ordinance for merchants, duty to keep sidewalks clean.
4947.
And we as code enforcement has to enforce that code. In front of your business, you have to keep it clean. If not, then we will have to address it accordingly. But this is for all businesses. You need to take care of the front of your property, your front of your business, with the paper, bottles, cans. Just have someone to go out there every day, every morning, and make sure that the front of your establishment is clean. Okay, I also would like to add, we do deal with the rental properties, the landlords, the tenants. We always let them know if there's a problem with the landlord, just call us. We can make him fix whatever it is he needs to fix. But then again, a lot of times, when the landlord gets the letter that we send to him, they will get upset and then evict the tenant. But then again, if the tenant behind in rent, then they'll take them to court, and then the court will grant them the eviction notice. But like I used to tell him, you can't withhold the rent from the landlord. Just call us. We'll make him do what he has to do, because it's in the code book or the ordinance. And that's what we do. We just enforce the codes and the ordinance. We don't make them. I know a lot of people like to say that, yeah, we picking on me. You picking them. No, we not picking on you. We just enforcing the laws and the municipal code book or the ordinance that the city has. So just do what it is that you're supposed to do and everything will be all right. So it has been some cases where contractors have been working and then dumping their material in the alley. So we will be on the lookout for that to make sure that that doesn't happen anymore. And we will be out there checking on that every day. Properties, homeowners, if you have like a lot of rubbish and debris in the yard, yes, you will get a notice of violation for that. We will give you notice and give you 5-10 days to clean it up. And if it's not done, then we'll take it to the next step. But also, we just like you to know, it's not allowed for you to have all that rubbish and debris in the backyard, because it constitutes a nuisance. And that's part of one of the codes that we have to address. We do check to make sure when we go to a property, we write it up for grass, and then we happen to see that the owner of the building stays in Highland or Munster, or either out the state. And then that way we'll call the office back, check to see if they register for rental property. And if they say no, then we'll issue a citation for them to appear in court, and then they would have to pay for the years that they didn't pay for. And also housing standards. Housing standards, we usually deal with tenants that call and complain on the landlord, and then we'll give them whatever it is that they won't fix. Then we'll send a letter. But then also, I usually have to ask them, are you current on your rent? Because I had in the past, the landlord would get mad if they call us and we have to send him a letter. And then he would evict them. But if they behind in rent, he'll go to Hammond, file for an eviction. And if they behind in rent, and then they will evict them. But then again, I let them know that you can't withhold the rent from the landlord. So that was important, that I needed to let the public know.
Thank you again for riding along with us to see what code enforcement does for the city. We ask that you continue to help us in maintaining and beautifying the city. We are here to serve you. May you be blessed.